one of the biggest women in the governance of Uganda, this top level government, that one of those biggest ladies said they will do anything they can, even if it means killing people, to take Kawempe City.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Is there any Ugandan surprised that what is happening in Kawempe is happening?
I thought you would be.
What? Are you kidding me, Simon Kagwanjala? You thought she would be surprised? Oh, well, you're playing the other card of, let me poke, come triggering.
If you are surprised, go and hang.
Boba we get away to get. Listen.
As Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs,
no, you're not.
My job is to offer the best possible advice to the government of Uganda.
And what she's trying to say, how do you justify? Because what advice have you offered? Because it's looked like it's landing on a deaf ear.
And arrest somebody who has already a
this
red
one.
bag.
Bere.
Now these are goons or brutal people holding guns. They even that man, I don't know whether he still has his eye.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
Very glad to be here on Mordecai Marissa TV.
And yes, indeed, Ogamboti Okanspident Oli Bulungi nze Mordecai Marissa. I'm so glad oli wano nange nkwebaza yonna gy'osinziira okubeera nga ogoberera endowooza zange zengabana naawe ku mikutu gyange gimunaayiza wala social media platforms. We went kola introduction. I'm reminded of how I used to make introductions ku TV. Welcome to NBS Live at 1 from the Political Command Center. Kati eno bagiyita Mordecai Marissa Command Center. Oh yes, indeed. Ogambo Otieyo, and I hope you're having a great time. Mordecai Marissa here. Once again, tuziwa n'okutunuulira ensonga ezikola amawulire mu nnyaffe Uganda n'okusingira ddala ku ludda lw'enkyukakyuka mu nnyaffe Uganda. As we watch the continual of the falling of the Museveni regime, we are here to be drum majors and to show people why it fell. There's no doubt. It is inevitable. Okugwa. It is inevitable. Okuwamba abantu kukyagenda mu maaso, okubatulugunya, okubasalako ebitundu byabwe ebyekyama, okubatuntuza, okubasiyaga, okubaliisa ebisolo, n'okubabuzawo obutaddamu kubalabako bikyagenda mu maaso. Bye tujja ne tugamba, not with your reason. Si magezi go n'otugamba nti owagira NRM, olina kyamu ki ku mutwe. I mean, you need to be examined by a psychiatrist or psychologist. Kikyamu ky'olina ku mutwe. So just go on and hit the subscription button. Mungeri emu ey'okulaga obuwagizi olw'ebikolebwa wano eno. Absolutely. Nsinzidde wano mu ssaza lya Ssaabasajja Kabaka, the United States of America. Essaza eryo erya Ssaabasajja Kabaka. Amasaza 50 ageegatta okukola eggwanga limu lye bayita United States of America. So weebale nnyo, weebalire ddala byonna by'okola. And olwaleero tugenda kwongera okutunira abamu ku bakyala, women of valor and substance. Miria Matembe. Omanyi Miria Matembe amanyiyo buli kaguta Museveni. Amuwandiikako mu kitabo kye amumanyi beemanyi. Tamuwala naye yeewuunya okuba nti omusajja yafuuka kisodde kikulekule monster. Omusajja gwe yali awa ekitiibwa. Omusajja yamuwa career. Agamba ki ekyamutuukako. I think I'll read you her book. Nina ekitabo kye wano. Wait a second. I have it here. Mu kitabo kye kino eno bakiyita The Struggle for Freedom and Democracy Betrayed. Atwaga Museveni bwe yali olukwe. Kinoonya okigule mu bookshops mu Kampala. Naye akunyumiza mwami Museveni n'enkola ye y'ebintu. For example wano ku page 114 agamba nti akunyumiza ebintu bingi ebikulaga Museveni butya bw'atawa kitiibwa bantu. Let me read you here. it's really interesting. Nsomewa ntandikirewa kubanga kinyuma ebitagambika. Gwe tugenda okutunuulira yasirisiza bano abawaana mwami Museveni. Yabadde ku NBS Frontline. Bano bagamba Museveni akoze kino. Museveni era bandanga avumiridde kino. Wano mukitabo agamba, the first time I was appointed, I remember asking the president why he appointed ministers without consulting them. Imagine that. Museveni akulonda okubira minister nga takwebuuzizzaako. Museveni amwanukula atya. He gave me 2 reasons. Myamuwa ensonga 2. He said that once you're a member of parliament, you have already clearly expressed your interest in serving the nation. Mbobeera omubaka wa parliament, oba omaze okulaga butya bw'oli omweteefuteefu okuweereza eggwanga lyo. Imagine that. Tawa bantu kitiibwa. Yagamba kati nkuwadde kino. Takwebuzizzaako oba olina obumanyirivu. Yagamba yakitwala nga abaakuwadde ekirabo. Tafaayo. Nsonga lwaki alina full figure. Presidential advisor. Eddie Kenzo, presidential advisor on creatives. Please go and buy yourself a copy of her book. It's a very interesting book. I'll just put it here. Tugende ku mboozi gye yabadde nayo, ndowooza yabadde ku NBS TV ku Frontline. Yabadde hosted by Simon Kagwanjala nga bakubaganya ebirowoozo ku kuwamba, okutta n'okutulugunya bannansi naddala ku nsonga ze tuli mu kulengera naddala ebyoyoleka mu kalulu ke Kawempe. She doesn't mince any words. She speaks truth to power without fear or favor.
Well, if I could hold you there and engage Honorable Miria Matembe, when you look at the violence and the kind of brutality that is being meted onto the voters in the constituency, what comes on your mind, still coupled with the assurance from the Electoral Commission that they are in charge?
You know, it's because
I'm drinking my coffee on Jakunsonyua. You know how she, you can read the body language before she even says anything. Go mubili ogusoma nagamba. Atanikana kwesoza. Let's rewind this a little bit and see how she responds. She like that disappointment. Jalina mubigenda maso.
With the assurance from the Electoral Commission,
look at her face,
that they are in charge.
You know, it's because God gave me this mouth to come and talk. And you disturb by inviting me. And then I come. But really, otherwise, what do I make of this? Am I surprised?
Isn't it funny? Because I'm Gamba. What do you make of this? What do I make? What do you mean? There should be some sort of a reframing the question. What do you make of this? Oh, they've killed someone. Chishmunga namawuli be Uganda. Bakutidde omuzadde wo. Oba omuzadde wo afudde. Owulira ennaku. Kyebana ngenda okugaka kireke. Naye olina kyamu ki ku mutwe. Kati kibuuzo ky'obuuza. Maama waakulumye. What do you make of this? The abduction? The torturing? The violation of human rights? What do I make of this?
Is there any Ugandan surprised that what is happening in Kawempe is happening?
I thought you would be.
What? Are you kidding me, Simon Kagwanjala? You thought she would be surprised? Oh, well, you're playing the other card of, let me poke, come triggering.
If you are surprised, go and hang.
Boba weunje, genda wetuge. Let's go back here.
I come. But really, otherwise, what do I make of this? Am I surprised? Is there any Ugandan surprised that what is happening in Kawempe is happening?
I thought you would be.
If you are surprised, go and hang. Unless, because you don't know what has been going on in
Boba surprised genda wetuge.
this country. Me, what I want to say, I was not surprised. And as for Electoral Commission, if I were that man, I would just keep quiet and just sit in my office and do what I can do, what I'm
you know, what she's trying to say in all, her sort of a preamble nga tanamala kukola nsonga, like she's speechless. Agamba what's going on? Wakakyuka ebyokulonda, like don't even say a word, because bano abantu abya deployed tebafaayo kakiiko ka byakulonda. Museveni talina gwawa kitiibwa mu maaso ga Museveni, toyina kyoli, like you're nothing. Abo bennyini nnyini baasindisa okumuttira, bw'ayagala babatte nabo babanyigirawo, like she's speechless. But n'akakiiko ebyokulonda tekalina kyekasobola kwogera nti bwe kaba gamba we condemn oba ebino ebyagenze mu maaso tebasobola kuinvestigatinga mwami Museveni, tebasobola kumuyita mu kakiiko. Olaba parliament yo yennyini nnyini yeeyita omuduumizi w'amagye g'eggwanga Muhoozi Kainerugaba omutamiivu, n'agamba eyo clown show sigenda kujja mu kifo ky'abaddiikuula, and there's nothing, like zero, parliament can do. That is in and of itself, I don't know how you describe that, because there's a legislative body. It is an equal branch of government. Nga bw'olaba judiciary, executive, then legislature. Emikono gana amasiga asatu gateekeddwa okukola mu ngeri ey'ekyenkanyi. Naye omuduumizi w'amagye g'eggwanga naga tugenda kumuyita atubire ebyateeka ku Twitter biteeka eggwanga lyaffe mu kye bayita diplomatic crisis, ne bivumirira ssemateeka nti we ow'amagye ate gwali mu byobufuzi bineeno bitiisa bannayuganda. Twandyagadde ajje mu parliament tumubuuze ku nsonga zino, n'agenda ku mukutu gwe n'abagamba ekifo kyamwe kyabaddiikuula, and the parliament is all quiet. Tuwulidde, like no one is going to come out and condemn him, especially on the NRM. Balina ababaka bali mu bisatu, plus they're afraid of him, like no one. Bonna kye baasalawo, one, kugenda mu parliament balye emmere, bafune sente, bafune beeyagale, basirike eggwanga lyafa. Like you folks, you hear a lot about failed states, and you might not understand what it really means, and I'm sorry for okuwanvuyamuko wano. A failed state is like that of Uganda. Failed state kitegeeza mbu abantu babeera mu nnaku, abantu baffe abamu bwe balowooza nti ogiyita failed state kasa nga nsobola okugenda ku Happy Boys ekiro ne nkuba omuziki. Absolutely. It doesn't necessarily mean failed state mwe muli abantu abakaaba. No. Mobutu Sese Seko Kukumbendu was a banga we yafugira Democratic Republic of Congo we basinga okufulumiza music walingala ngeno abbe gwanga yetoludde olubiri lwa zaabu abantu abavuwaza abalala abawamba n'abatta n'abatulugunya naye nga abantu bakuba music we yatundira ennyo Uganda owalingala oyo okuva e Congo nga bali bafugibwa bumbula. So Uganda is a failed state and she's speechless, like bambi awulira n'ennaku nti owakakiiko ebyokulonda byabakama alina nekyasobola okwogera kubanga ali awo like a dummy eya mwami Museveni talina kyasobola kukola.
Commanded to do and do it the way I do it. And as for Koraje, surely all Ugandans here, do those assurance or those words make any meaning to us? Do they? You don't. You actually. You don't.
The UPDF has this station.
You know, I usually tell you this. We laugh not because these things are funny, but what is the other option if we don't laugh? It is crying, so we don't want to cry, and that's why she laughs. Like she's disappointed. She's speechless. Kulaije noja noyogere bintu ebitaliimu. Like she's speechless.
The action which matters. You are telling me that UPDF has distanced it himself. Those people who were covering all their mouths and everything, hiding themselves, who were they? And if why didn't police arrest them?
Isn't it funny? Like these are kindergarten questions. Like, oh, UPDF has distanced itself. They won't even tell you who commands the JAT. Like when you go to the police, because they've been sent on a mission to terrorize people. It doesn't really matter what they do, whether they're captured on camera or not. It doesn't really matter. Genda obota obo tugumbula kola chokola teri agenda kubuza chibuzo. And then you have to be like, oh, UPDF has distanced itself. But then Kulaije, is that what you have to say? That's why she's disappointed in Kulaije.
What is that? Anyway, what I want to say is that it is so unfortunate that elections, whose role is to really help Ugandans to choose the leaders who should govern them, in Uganda here, they're about fight, war and fighting. Elections which are supposed to choose leaders, they become a die, as if it is about life and death. Elections, turning elections into life and death matter should be a very big shame to this country, to this government of Uganda.
Exactly. Like it should be like what we saw being done to Nalukola. Ne bamusika ku border, ne bamukuba abantu. That should be like a shame. Like we can't allow that to happen. Like you'd even have the Minister of Defense, you know, the police, joint security agencies press conference where they speak and say, we condemn this and we promise you this is not going to happen. But it is business as usual. No one really cares. When they do it today, it's, they do it tomorrow. It's business as usual. Like she cannot believe the values she stood for were all betrayed. Like she said in her book, Betrayed.
It should be a very big shame for people like us who come from very far, in those dictators who tortured us, those who were. And President Museveni came with all to redeem Uganda from that kind of suffering and torture. To see that for his government, it is doing it much beyond.
That's why she writes this book. Struggle for freedom and democracy betrayed. That we condemned the Idi Amin Dada for what they did. The abduction, the torturing, the killing of innocent people. The cracking down on the voices of dissent. The controlling of the church. And all things they did. The forced abduction or disappearance or exile of Kabaka Mutesa by the regime of Obote. The killing of people by the regime of Tito Okello Lutwa. And these Ugandans finally came out and said that, you know what? We're going to join this guy with a few people. Ugandans sacrificed. They fed the fighters of Mr. Museveni. They were hell-bent on seeing that Museveni comes to power. They believed that the 1980 election was rigged, and they said, we are behind Museveni. They were tired of what was being done by those regimes, the tyranny of Okello Lutwa, of Obote, of Idi Amin Dada. And they said, for there's a man that has promised us, that he's got what we call the 10 points program. And on the floor of parliament in 1986, when he came to power, saying, this is not a mere change of guards. It is a fundamental change. Bigambo. Nagamba, I have truly discovered that the problem of Africa are leaders who overstay in power. And now, when he said that the problem of Africa are leaders who overstay in power, he was referring to the leaders of Uganda specifically. Idi Amin Dada, who had stayed in power for only 8.5 years. To him, that was too much. Apollo Milton Obote, who had served one term and then came back in 1980 to serve another term. That was too much for him. And then that's why it was one of his talking points when he was addressing the Ugandan people shortly after winning the war. And people believed him. They said, Yoyo Gwetwagala. People loved Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now, after that, he's almost clocking 40 years in power. Now, he made amends to what he said then. He said, I only meant people who stay in power out of an extra constitutional means. That is you. You bribed folks in parliament in 2005 to get rid of the term limits in the constitution of Uganda. You broke people's backs like Betty Nambozi Bachideke during the Toji Kwatako, the amendment of the constitution to remove the age limit cap. It is you. Now you want to amend the same constitution so that your son is able to become president without a due process, democratic process. Because you know you can bribe these members of parliament to appoint your son as president of Uganda. Like, this is betrayal to margins you cannot explain. This is Idi Amin Dada, Apollo Milton Obote, Tito Okello Lutwa combined and on steroids. This is who Museveni became.
Without shame, let me tell you, Idi Amin used to, in the night or somehow, people would disappear and would never be traumatized, would keep hoping maybe our people are there. But in this government, they just get you, they beat, they kill, they openly.
Isn't it funny? that in the era of social media, in the era where news spread faster than a bullet, you would think that, oh, this would actually threaten Mr. Museveni not to abduct, torture, and kill innocent people. But all these things are done in broad daylight because you know what he's trying to do, to instill fear. Oh, Museveni mutia. Then it makes really Ugandans feel nostalgic about Idi Amin Dada because people would get this, they would be disappeared deep in the night. Idi Amin wanted to sanitize and to hide his wrongdoing. Museveni does in a broader light. And he actually comes out on camera and says, and you have NRM people. I don't want to say those words. When he says those words, instead of some people like, look, this is why I don't like elected politics. When I was a kid, I wanted to be, I would be in positions of power. I don't want that anymore because I cannot deal with those people. If the president, a person who leads me, ever says those words, I would just get up. I'll tell you a story. When I was in high school with my friend, Najib is in Saudi Arabia right now. A teacher was trying to, to make fun of one of our friends, a girl, making some stupid comments. We almost brought an end to his life. There's no way. Like, what is funny about beating Bobby Wine? It cannot even be a joke. But when Museveni says that, ababaka ba parliament aba NRM ngabaseka. Nogamba, teacher ayogedde ekisesa okutulugunya Bobby Wine. Nti bamukubye bulungi.
There's no shame. Therefore, for me, I'm not surprised. This is what I expected. I was here the other Frontline. I told them that to me, what is happening in Kawempe, it is a precursor. It is telling people, you see, this is just a small constituency. One constituency like this, they are telling us, people, wake up and see and prepare to maybe to hide yourself. I don't know where or how to leave this country for safety, but prepare.
As someone who was once at the helm of the election observer group, SEDU, do you think things are moving from bad to worse?
Hey,
this is a constant.
The fact that they closed us and shut us down, don't you remember?
There's no better person to really interview about this than Miria Matembe. Talk about human rights abuses and stifling the voices of dissent and stuff like that. Yali musedu ne bajiggala olagamba. In fact, okuba nti bajiggalawo kyekikulaga obunnanfuusi n'obufuzi obw'omukono gw'ekyomo obwa Mwami Museveni.
Those SEDU and shut us down because we were observing these things, we were participating in the whole country. They did it that time, last 2020, what elections? The last
2021.
election. 2021 elections, when we observed all these things, they refused to give us observation. And because SEDU's people are all over the place, they don't need to get letters. They were there at all polling stations and everywhere. So they told us, and we wrote a report, and the Electoral Commission himself, you see him, he's the he's the very one who wrote to NGO Bureau and said, you close these people. They observed the elections without our support. But having said that, let me tell you what it means in Kawempe. The NRM is determined at whatever cost to take that seat.
Yep.
And I understand. And me, because when they go to their caucus, they talk and talk and talk. And then some people also come and tell us. I understand one of the biggest women in the governance of Uganda, this top level government, that one of those biggest ladies said they will do anything they can, even if it means killing people, to take Kawempe City.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Museveni has a huge majority margin in the parliament. But evil can never be satisfied. Evil can be looked at as a pig. It's extremely greedy. You cannot feel it. It wants to eat every day, every time. Now, Museveni is hell-bent on doing anything. And you've seen what they're doing to take that Kawempe position. Look, mbagambako kino, nze simanyi muntu awagira NRM. Mu mikwano gyange, simumanyi bayinza okuba banneekweka. Basinga nga bagamba siri byabufuzi kubanga bakimanyi. Simanyi mutwe nga gukola bulungi. Bw'ogamba nze mpagira NRM. Like,
and I'm saying it to preempt them so that when they do it, we shall confirm that indeed that's what they are planning.
Well, Honorable Mwiru, thank you very much, Honorable Matembe. Honorable Mwiru, there's been a lot of condemnation.
And I think I'll again go to the submission of Miria Matembe. I really loved his her submission, and I think here Sechikubo was making a submission and she had to interrupt.
Outcry, but the fact that it has persisted, it shows that it is deliberate.
Absolutely.
And to me and the party I belong to, I believe this can't be.
No, but I want us to
aspiration.
examine the statements. One,
Yep.
the spokesperson of the UPDF has disowned the many.
I love that. She's interrupting. Like Kulaije distancing himself from.
Kagwanjara, I want to interrupt you. We don't come here to discuss nonsense. Because for sure, do we have a government or we are not?
I thought
and
we
is
did.
this government serious with
Like, and please understand why she interrupted Kagwanjala. And that wasn't her time to submit. It is Sechikubo still submitting. But she had to interrupt. It's like, if Kulaije, the spokesperson of the army, comes out and distances himself from this jet, and then you have other police officers distancing themselves, then do we have a working government? Let's go back here. Listen.
In the statements. One,
Yep.
the spokesperson of the UPDF has disowned the many.
Kagwanjara, I want to interrupt you. We don't come here to discuss nonsense. Because for sure, do we have a government or we are not?
I thought
and
we
is
did.
this government serious with security? If they can follow somebody who has done nothing, if they can arrest somebody who has already a
This
red
one.
bag,
Beret.
now these are goons or brutal people holding guns. They even that man, I don't know whether he still has his eye.
The journalist.
Yes, and we saw them there, and then you come. The government spokesperson has denounced it. Simanyi police has denounced it. Simanyi what? Those fellows who denounce like that, I feel sorry for them.
Like, what does denouncing really mean? What does it change? Or we come out. Look, of recent, I think if you've not watched, I was able to look at this interview that was conducted by DW Norbert Mao, where he was asked about what does he think about the continued violation of human rights and what does he make of it. Ngaye, Minister where Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Nothing. Tell me that just kuteka obutesi. Listen, again, you know what he says? I condemn. Yeah.
Watch, yet you are the Minister for Justice and control double standards, especially when you have also spoken out strongly against abductions, but yet your own government insists these are lawful arrests. How do you justify your position? Why are these injustices escalating under your watch, yet you are the Minister for Justice and
I'll answer for him before he gives us his mambo jumbo, his word salad. He's in position just like as a dummy. Like there's nothing. Like I said, please, you have to go on my YouTube channel and watch that video. It's just there to feel kujuza chifo. Taina swakola. Because in situations like this where you see honorable men resigning their position, saying, over this is what is going on, that's what honorable really means when you mean it. But Taina.
Constitutional Affairs.
Listen.
As Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs,
No, you're not.
my job is to offer the best possible advice to the government of Uganda.
And what she's trying to say, how do you justify? Because what advice have you offered? Because it's looked like it's landing on a deaf ear. Because if that's what you do, it looks like it's not working. People continue to be abducted, continue to be killed, continue to be tortured. So what advice? And what happens when you give advice that is, or caution that is not heeded too?
Now, it is not fair for anybody to say the abductions are happening because I'm the Minister of Justice. Obviously,
that's not what she said. Why are you even smiling over? That's not what she said.
No.
Exactly.
I said the president is the president is the one that is allegedly being accused of.
He was trying to gaslight her. She's on her A game.
Orchestrating these abductions. He appointed you as the Minister of Justice, and you're openly coming to say, you know what, this is wrong. I am strongly against these abductions. And even here on this platform, you have clearly said you're not happy with this and it's regrettable. Yet you are a minister under President Museveni who's being allegedly accused for this. Then are these not like double standards? When you
I know 1 + 1 doesn't seem like it equals to 2. Looks like it is 1 + 1 is, calculations of Norbert Mao. 1 + 1 is equal to 3.
Him, what do you tell him? What do you talk to him about?
When you meet him, what do you tell him? Norbert Mao advising Museveni. Museveni's name is Tibuhaburwa. Nantabulirirwa, Nantawabura. So Norbert Mao to advise.
But he himself went and admitted that what was done by some of the security forces was wrong.
What does his admission do? It is admitting, it was wrong, and then it is done the following day. That's why, please, head over to my YouTube channel and watch this conversation. It's already there. I did it, I think, yesterday. But this is why we go back to this lady. It's like, what difference does it make?
Because you cannot be used like that to say nonsense to Ugandans as if we are fools. Me, the thing that disturbs me.
Thank you.
People think that Ugandans are fools.
Thank
that
you.
You can just say anything and they don't know.
Exactly.
I can't understand this kind of thing.
I want to take it back. I want to take the ball back to Honorable.
She's not happy, and for the right reasons. She's not happy for the right reasons. Like Norbert Mao, we condemn the continued abduction of Ugandans. So what? If it is done the following day, so what? Resign. Have some spine. Have a little bit of spine. But do they? Do they? No, they don't. All they do is they've been appointed to these positions of power, but they don't have any power. So what do? Is appease the man who appointed them. It is very sad. Look, more than 30 minutes. It is very interesting. So, bobo laba video no. Chobo kola, bintu bisatu. Subscribe. Take a comment. Atira video jigabane kone mikwano jo. The more we grow this number, the more we reach more people to expose the decadence, the filth of the Museveni regime. My name is Mordecai Murisa, coming to you from the Mordecai Political Command Center. Nkwagaliza okubeera obulungi, tudingana olunaku olulala. Please do subscribe. Bye-bye. When I told you I love music, I have my friend Ngasinaba Kusibula. Nina mukwano gwange Shaba of Munayu 256. Please go subscribe to that YouTube channel. Agama Muriso yagala nnyo muziki gwo. Absolutely. Then I have Sarah down in California. Ngamba neba nang. Eyo ndongo jobo kuba. Absolutely. You have to enjoy. Nabala mwena. Please, like I said, comment down. I'll come and say, send regards to you from where you're watching me from. Okay. Tudengano nakulala. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy what you just watched? I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa YouTube channel? Thank you.